Keep it real about how I feel. I know this love ain't real, but I want you still.
Williams. Welcome to the second episode of Keeping It Real with Will Williams. I'm your host, Will Williams. So, we're moving right along, man. Like I said, second episode. If you didn't check out the first episode, go ahead and check it out. First season, check that out too. Like I said, if this your first time watching this, I'm Will Williams, recording artist, rapper, singer, songwriter, poet, podcaster, follower of Christ. That's what, Cypress Music Group, the record label I'm signed to, whatever. So, yeah, God gave me this podcast some years ago. Idea to do it. I kept avoiding doing it because I didn't want to do it, whatever. But, if God wants you to do something, He going to keep pushing you to do it and do it and do it and do it. So, a lot of y'all, I think it was Instagram or audio, man. Anyway, excuse me. I've been getting a lot of requests for story time, because a lot of times, I got stories for days about certain situations. A lot of y'all be like, oh, okay, I can learn from this or relate to it. So, I'm going to give y'all a little story at the end, but let's get to the main, what we talking about today. So, sometimes, I probably said this last season, but, it's a story that I don't think I told before. If I did, apologize, but let's hopefully I didn't tell it before. I don't think I did. So, being, I'm an independent artist, meaning I'm signed to a label, but it's not a major label like, a lot of people sign to a label, but they're a subsidiary of Universal Music Group or Def Jam or Warner Brothers, Motown Record, anything, right? I'm not doing that. So everything I'm doing is just me. So a lot of times doing stuff by yourself. So, okay, when I first started doing music, back when I was, 8, 9, 10 years old, I didn't have money like that to, buy beats or even buy a simple microphone, or, we had a family computer, I think, at the time, but I didn't have my own computer. I couldn't record because, everybody was in the house, this and that, blah, blah, blah. So I had to sneak and do stuff. I had to record real low on this little Rock Band microphone. If y'all remember that game, Rock Band, back in the day, I had a little Rock Band microphone that I had picked up from GameStop, and I plugged it in the computer and everything, and I could record on that. Vocals was, the mix was terrible, but I had to record low, late at night, and it just raised the vocals up and everything, and it sounded terrible. But anyway, it's about starting where you start at. Like, we all start from different situations. Some people grow up and maybe they got somebody with a studio in their house or something, so they can be like, okay, you can go from there. I didn't have that, like I said, I didn't have friends growing up. We moved around a lot because, like I said, my parents wanted the best for me and my siblings, and we got that. So if we ever fail in life or something, we can't sit there and blame, our parents and say, hey, we wasn't in a good neighborhood, or we was in a bad school district, or this and that. But, it'd be on our own doing. So when I got to a point where, like I said, I want to do this music thing, I had to do a lot of it, still do a lot of it myself. So fast forward, when I dropped my album Foreigner, all that's 100% me. The physical copies, the artwork, I had to pay for that all myself. The beats I made myself. They're not samples. They're not. So I think about samples. A sample, like, y'all remember that it's a Kendrick Lamar song. I don't know the name of it, but it's that's the way I like it. That's the way I like it. So that's a sample from Switch, I Call Your Name. Rich Boy sampled that too with Throw Some D's on it. If y'all remember Rich Boy, it's probably, Anyway, so it costs money to sample songs. And a lot of people say, well, you can sample it, but they won't ever notice you if you don't get big. I always had the thought process and attention of every song that I make is going to be crazy, it's going to be big, and, the world going to hear it. So if I use, I don't know, a Drake sample. Like I said, I done sampled a lot of people. Drake, Kendrick Lamar, Take Six, Kirk Franklin, CC Winans, a lot of stuff. Flipped a lot of samples, and it was dope. I could release them for free on a mixtape or a free EP, but to actually put it out, like nowadays, a lot of these what you call these? I don't. It slipped my mind at the moment, but you know where you upload your music online and you can have it in Apple Music or Pandora or Spotify or Amazon Music, stuff like that. So the record labels got deals with these certain different sites, and to wean out any copyright issues, like when you upload your music, it scans your music, because a couple times when I upload music, it'll flag it because the sample that I've used that was supposed to be royalty free, which means anybody can use it, blah blah blah. Somebody else may have used it and flipped it a different way, and it's flagging in the system. So you got to explain to them and show them proof and this and that, blah blah blah, so they can put your music through. So a lot of times you can't upload that anyway online and try to make music off of it, but sometimes you slip through the cracks, and I hear it all the time. Like, it's songs off my that mix what mixtape is that? The Basement Tapes, volume 1 and 2, even volume 3, that these are songs I made back in 2013, 2010. Like before Kendrick Lamar came out with Swimming Pools, I made a song from that beat that I found online before Kendrick Lamar got to it and put it out, called I'm Out of Here, Ain't No Turning Back. I'm out of here, ain't no turning back. Like, so I made that way before Kendrick Lamar dropped it, right? Now, I didn't pay for the beat because it was just some beat somebody was selling. And, of course, they got to it, flipped it, and did what he did with it. And, if I sat there and try to upload that online, it's going to get flagged by Kendrick Lamar. But what I'm saying is, there's a lot of songs that I'm uploading from years ago, which is where the Basement Tapes came from. And a lot of people making beats or making songs to that now that maybe they just found it or stole it or something and cut it off and they upload it, and then my stuff getting flagged for, this is their music and their song, and I'm like, that's crazy, because but anyway, so basically being an independent artist is real difficult, so you got to stay focused and make sure you spend the money this way or that way. And if you listen to a lot of my music back then and even now, sometimes I'm talking about, I feel alone and I ain't got no friends, this and that. And that's true, I do feel like that. But with everything that's going on in the world today, I'm kind of cool that I am the way that I am and grew up the way that I grew up. Because, now if I was to sign to a major record label and then, I'm recording at a certain studio and it sound this way, like, I know how to mix, master my music, right? Like, I taught myself how to do it through trial and error. Kind of expensive at times. Software that I paid for didn't work, this and that. So if my mixing level is right here, when I go to another studio or have somebody else, if I'm right here, they better be up here or way up here. Because if you right here or down here, then I'm like, might as well do it myself. Sure, it takes a lot of time, but it's more rewarding in the end. You know what I'm saying? So basically, I say all that to say, stay focused on what you're doing, because a lot of times you're going to have to go through things and do it yourself. I can remember a long time ago when, it's stuff that I said I wanted to do, and a lot of people didn't believe in me. People I was close with, people I grew up with, people I went to school with, people I used to work with, and it's crazy. And I look at it now that I got these things now. I remember back when I was in high school, I wanted to go into the NBA or go to the NFL, but ultimately it was really music is what I wanted to do, but I was too shy because I was comparing myself to the other people that was coming out with music then, and I didn't have the money to, like I said, record and do all this other stuff. Like, even now, I see a lot of people, they got 20, 30, 40 music videos out, and they on Spotify and they perform here and there, this and that, blah blah blah. But you gotta I had to check myself, because I'm like, why am I doing this? Am I doing this to get seen? Am I doing this to get a Grammy? Or am I doing this to glorify God? You know what I'm saying? And you're going to have to sacrifice a lot when you glorifying God. Because I can sit here and drop a dope song and have a bunch of profanity in it, talking about women and all this other stuff. Like, yeah, I can, don't ever get it twisted. I can do all that just to get on. But Then at the same time, I got kids that gonna look at me and be like, okay, daddy switched just for a check. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, we all gonna die, and I can't take the money with me. So while I'm here on earth, I'm gonna live to the fullest, but then I'm gonna die, and people gonna remember me. Oh man, he switched it up for some money. It ain't that important. So I had to check myself and be like, okay, this is what I'm doing it for. So it is what it is. So you can't ever compare yourself to somebody else or what somebody else is doing, because a lot of times you're going to be in a position where you feel like you're not doing enough, and you just got to do it at your own pace, at your own time. I can remember when I recorded Foreigner, like I was my first album, literally I was in a one bedroom apartment. It was an oversized living room, a little small kitchen, a little small eating area, bathroom, somewhat big room. My kids, everybody sleep in one room, and I got a computer in the corner, and I'm recording in the corner with like a little isolation shield, rapping, not trying to rap loud enough, but rapping loud enough to not wake people up. I'm because I was on the top floor, so I didn't want to wake them up, wake my kids up, So, I had to do that, and then I would do that, go to work, come home, record, and repeat that for about 2 weeks. And that's when I got done recording, mixed everything, mastered it, paid for it to get copyrighted, uploaded it, and everything that came out. And I was so proud that when it first came out, because like, man, I really put my all into this, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't really about getting recognized or getting known, because a lot of people say, oh yeah, I'm working on that mixtape, or I'm working on this album, or this finna come out, blah blah blah, and they never do it. Anybody can record a music video nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can be a podcaster. Things become much more simple and more available nowadays than it was when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? You can get a microphone for $5 or $10 online, and even though it may sound terrible, but you know what I'm saying, you can buy a laptop used for about $25, $30. You can get you a mic stand. And like you can get everything you need, like for real, maybe like $200 max, and that's probably even less than that. Quality may be trash, but you got to work with what you got at the time. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of times, like I said, okay, original thought. We getting sidetracked. You know what I'm saying? God be giving me a lot of things, and somebody need to hear that, what I'm talking about. But basically, what I was saying about people not believing in you, like I always wanted. I said, man, I want a couple kids. I want my own house. I want a couple cars. I want to be able to record when I want to, whether that be a studio at the crib or just a little area that I can go whenever I go, and not have to worry about somebody else's time in the schedule, or having to go to work, or working around somebody else. I want to work around myself. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to go in the store and my kids want something, I can buy it. I'm like, man, but I still got money left and this and that. Now I want to be able to say, man, I can quit my job and I'll be straight. You know what I'm saying? For a couple of months, that I find something else, or just not go back at all. You know what I'm saying? And I look where I'm at now. I may not be, check all those boxes, but majority of those boxes are checked. And that's not from, it's because you worked hard, this and that. Yeah, it's more than that. You know what I'm saying? It's trusting God. It's taking a leap of faith. It's, doing, like, a lot of times I see people that I work with, they be younger than me, like early 20s or something, or some of them probably like 18, 19, and they be like, yo, I'm going to this party, or I'm going to the club, this and that. I've never been to the club, never been to a party. Well, I've been to one party, and it was a 70s party with people that was like 50 and 60s years old, so it wasn't really a party like that. Never been to no lock-in, never slept overnight, no hotel party with no females, or never had a female on my phone so I can call and oh yeah, what's up, come link up at nighttime, or none of that stuff, man. It was always, I was just coming home. I was more fearful of not necessarily my parents, but well, I guess it was my parents. I was fearful if something happened to me, and then my parents find out how disappointed they'd be in me. You know what I'm saying? So that's a lot of the reason why I didn't do anything. I remember when I had got older, my parents used to be like, yo, you need to go out to the movies. You need to find a girlfriend. Because literally all I did, I wake up, I work out, go to work, you know what I'm saying, come home. If I got something to do with the car, get the car fixed, do this, do that. But I'll come home, and I would literally be at home. I had no TV in my room. I would just be sitting in there, maybe writing, working on music, watch TV here and there, be on my phone on YouTube or something. But other than that, you know what I'm saying, all I did was just be boring, I guess. And a lot of times I felt, even sometimes now, I feel like I missed out on a lot of things. But then I look at everybody else's life and look at mine. Like some things that I got now, people twice my age will never have. You feel me? And it's not me bragging. It's just saying, like, I had a goal and I chased that goal and I didn't get sidetracked by it. Well, you know, I got sidetracked. I'm not going to sit here and say I was on a straight and narrow, because I probably should have been further than I am now. But, you know, we all got a journey. We all got a situations where we go through things. But if you trust God, you know, sometimes God allows things to happen to get us to a certain point where we can trust and depend on Him, and we can listen to Him and the Holy Spirit, and then we'll be able to get through those situations or avoid those situations. And you know what I'm saying? If you got kids or people that look up to you, because even people older than you may look up to you, be like, man, he did that, that's crazy, you know, maybe I can do that. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. So thank y'all for tuning in. You know, that's the whole episode. Not sure what it was about. Just let God speak through me. This one felt different than the rest of them. You know, I'm speaking a little faster, this and that. Not to say nothing was scripted. I wasn't, you know, reading nothing any other episode this season or last season or any season. It was just, you know, I let God speak through me. You know, I pray before I start doing one of these podcasts and everything, but God just spoke to me. So, story time. This is gonna be a quick one because I don't, you know. So, this story is about, man, what can I talk about? You know, it's a lot of things. I think I kind of did tell a story, man, about, you know, faith and everything. But, man, it's so many stories. Okay, I got one. So, there was this guy that I had worked with, and this is when I was younger and everything. You know, he was wilding and you know what I'm saying, he was married, but I guess he had girls on the side or apartment on the side or something. And he was like, yeah, you know, I keep an apartment just in case. You know, I'm like, what? Yeah. So he doing what he do. And one day this guy was smoking in the car or something he was doing. He was doing something he wasn't supposed to. So you ever know them people that want to throw the rock and hide their hand? He was one of those people. He was doing wrong too, but because nobody saw him, for whatever reason, he had told on him. And I think he told on me. Something happened. I don't remember everything fully, but you know, I was mad at him and everything, and I'm like, man, forget him. I ain't talking to him no more. So we come to work that day. The GM, you know, they was like, he started crying, and he had got killed in a car accident. Cause I remember seeing it on the news, and they ain't say the name, and I was like, man, that's crazy. So it just put a lot into perspective that life is short, and you can sit there and hold grudges what somebody did to you or didn't do to you, this and that, man. Just let it go, because at the end of the day, you know, tomorrow's not promised. This next minute is not promised. You know what I'm saying? Y'all may never see this podcast episode. I may never get to put it out, because God can come back, Jesus can come back today or tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you always got to sit there and make sure you ready. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're doing what you're supposed to. And whatever that is, man, just pray, ask God, what am I supposed to be doing? You know what I'm saying? And you may not have people supporting you. Even people that, you know, may be in your church may not support you, because God gave you the vision, not them. You feel me? So even if, you know, like, for example, like the church that I go to, they want me to work their facilities and maintenance bad. And I know I'm probably supposed to be working there, but at my current circumstances, my schedule, the kids and everything, it's just best if I don't work there now. Instead of them understanding that, they just keep on throwing little hints here and there, this and that. And I'm not saying it's directed towards me, and I'm just saying, and the people, you know, when I was doing the interviews and this and that, they'll shake my hand, what up, you know, when I see them, this and that. But now it's like they ignore me, and it's crazy, because I'm like, what, is you upset? Is you mad? Because it ain't hurt me, you feel me? They had a position up there, and they still ain't filled it. So I'm not sitting there saying, okay, yeah, I ain't going to get it. You just going to wait on me. I'm not saying that. But the same God that told you the job was for me is the same God that told me not to take the job at that moment. Now, that sounds kind of crazy. Like, how could God tell somebody one thing and tell you something differently? It was basically like, okay, God, you told me this. Sure, this person is for the job. Tell him that. Okay, so God told me that the job was for me, but not at the current moment. You feel me? So maybe down the line, if they buy another church, or, you know, they talk about buying other churches, you know, a lot of churches talk like that, buy another church or buy this or buy that. Maybe then I'll be over the facilities and maintenance part on that. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I can't rush God's process, and you can't rush it just because you need somebody at the moment, this and that. Because the people that you got ain't doing what they're supposed to, has nothing to do with the next person. You feel me? So, okay, man, you know, I know I've been talking a lot. It's probably the longest episode ever, but, you know what I'm saying, just Holy Spirit speaking through me. So, thank y'all for tuning in. Will Williams, keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? Hit me up on any social media, man. I'm not really on social media like that, to be honest with you. Like, I'm not on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I'm, like I said, I check those rarely, you know what I'm saying? Just scheduled posts be on there, you know, so I don't be on there like that. But, you know, you can email me at the Disciples Music Group Records at Outlook.com, you know what I'm saying? You know, that email is checked, you know, real frequently. Well, like I said, you can hit me up on social media, you know what I'm saying? Who knows? I might check it one day, you know, if y'all want to talk about something, anything, man, any topics, you know, like y'all been hitting me up with the story time and everything. But, yeah, man, this is Will Williams, and we just keeping it real.
Keep it real about how I feel. I know this love ain't real, but I'm